Hello, everyone. Good morning to those on the West Coast and good afternoon to those on the East. We apologize for the delay as we're having some technical difficulties. It is a few minutes past the hour, and we have lots of great information to share with you today, so we'd like to get started now. Our webcast today is on the Advantest U3800 cross-domain analyzer and how it can help you solve your challenges in SATCOM monitoring and interference, pulse radar, amplifier characterization, EMI Pre-compliance, and troubleshooting. So thank you for joining us. My name is Manny Diaz, and I'm your moderator for today's session. I am the Eastern Regional Sales Manager here at Metric Test. Your technical presenters today will be Warren Jackson and Baron Fung. This webcast is scheduled for a little over 40 minutes, and we should get through our presentation pretty quickly, allowing plenty of time for your questions. Our agenda for today is just a quick introduction of who Metric Test is, our strategic Advantest partnership, and talk a little bit how we work closely together in our partnership. Of course, the star of our show today is the U3800 Cross-Domain Analyzer Series, which offers two key differentiators, two independent channel inputs, and time domain analysis. We will be conducting a question and answer session. The audience will be placed in a silent mode throughout the webcast. However, we certainly encourage you to submit your questions throughout the presentation. To do so, please type your questions in the WebEx Q&A box to all panelists. This can be found in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. At the end of the webcast, we will provide contact information for your local sales representative, and we will also be drawing 5 lucky names for our winners of $50 Amazon gift cards. So please be sure you stay throughout the presentation. Finally, Metric Test is offering a special promotion for the attendees of this webcast, so stay tuned for that information as well. A little bit about Metric Test. We were founded in 1992 as a spin-off from GE Capital. We have more than 10,000 satisfied customers in over 50 countries, from your startups to your Fortune 100 companies such as Apple, Intel, Lockheed Martin, as well as several thousand small, medium companies. We also have a fully staffed ISO NIST traceable lab to 50 gigahertz. We are also ISO 9001-2000 certified, as well as TÜV accredited. In 2011, we were acquired and are now part of the Microlease Group. This allows us to offer global presence throughout Europe, Asia, and Latin America. Advantest is one of the most respected name brands in the test and measurement industry. They were established in 1954 and have over 50 years experience in manufacturing and electronics, optical equipment including spectrum analyzers, network analyzers, and component analyzers for signal integrity. Today, we're excited to present the versatile and unique U3800 Cross-Domain Analyzer Series. Metric Test is the exclusive U.S. partner and service center for Advantest. We handle all sales, calibration, repair, and parts here in Hayward, California. Our presenters today are Warren Jackson and Baron Fung. Warren is a field sales engineer based in Alexandria, Virginia, serving the Mid-Atlantic region. Warren has been in the test and measurement industry for over 30 years. Prior to Metric Test, he worked at TRS Rentelco and Electrorent, where he was successful at selling a wide variety of test and measurement equipment, mostly specializing in RF analysis. Baron is our applications engineer with over 10 years of experience in the electronics industry. He currently supports all of the RF and digital applications here at Metric Test. And prior to Metric Test, he supported applications engineering requirements for high-density flip chip packaging at Kyocera. Baron also holds a master's in electrical engineering and bachelor's in materials science and engineering. So at this point, I'd like to hand it over to Warren Jackson, who will give an overview of the Advantest U3800 Cross-Domain Analyzer and its functionalities. So take it away, Warren.
Thank you, Manny, and hello, everyone. Thank you for your attendance today. In just a moment, Baron will walk us through the 3 main application challenges associated with cross-domain analysis. First, let's look at some highlights of the Advantest U3800 series cross-domain analyzer. Again, this is an analyzer, independent. It has two independent dual-phase synchronous input channels in 3 models, up to 43 gig Ka band. FFT mode allows the time domain measurement capability to capture the spectrum as a function of power, frequency, and phase. The U3800 series has an all-digital solid-state architecture also that allows it to have high reliability, ruggedness, and compact form factor for modular replacements of components. The unit's very light as well, very light, being solid-state. 22 pounds, which is a great fit for field use portability. The U3800 cross-domain analyzer has a unique cross-math function with a dedicated front panel hard key, which allows for convenient access to 4 advanced math functions in vector between channels and domains. Baron will explain a little bit more about that in detail later. It comes standard with LAN, USB, and GPIB interfaces. Remote programming is available using LAN or GPIB, and LabVIEW drivers are also available. Next page. The cross-domain analyzer features 2 independent RF input channels with wideband digitizers and phase synchronization. The analyzer is defined by 3 key measurement concepts, as we see here in our slide: cross-channel, cross-domain, and cross-math, or the 3 crosses that are depicted here. With dual channels, you can characterize that as frequency and phase correlated dependencies between 2 input channels capable of frequency ranges from L-band 3.0 gig to 8 gig, all the way up to Ka band 43 gig. The U3800 also has a 40 megahertz digitizing bandwidth that can capture wideband signals in FFT for additional signal processing. You can look at the signal in cross-domain, such as frequency spectrum versus time, and phase versus time. Finally, the new cross-math feature is an innovation, which allows you to seamlessly perform math functions between various domains and channels. We will demonstrate how the 3 crosses are useful later on in some case studies that will be presented. As I mentioned earlier, we'll go through some scenarios showing how the cross-domain analyzer, with its innovative design and feature set, excels over conventional tools and measurement methods. The 3 applications and their associated challenges we continue to see from our customers are the ones we see on this slide: SATCOM monitoring and interference, pulse radar, power amplifier characterization, and EMI Pre-compliance and troubleshooting. Baron will explain improvements in measurement accuracy, speed, convenience, and other benefits to be had with this new cross-domain analysis concept. And with that, I'll turn it over to Baron Long, our applications engineer. Baron?
Thanks, Warren. Hello, everyone. Just a reminder that if you have questions throughout the presentation, please type them in the WebEx Q&A box to all panelists. So, the first case study we'll discuss is SATCOM monitoring and interference. As more satellite communication migrates over to Ka band, the transmission is more susceptible to atmospheric attenuation. Tropospheric scintilation also increases with frequency, resulting in fast amplitude variations and additional phase noise introduced into the transmission. So to reduce cold channel interference, the signals transmitted are oftentimes polarized vertically or horizontally. It is also useful to monitor the RF and IF sections of the transmission simultaneously and be able to characterize multiple sources of signals in real time and also in phase. In satellite signal monitoring, the signal transmitted in RF is oftentimes down-converted to IF for signal processing. To characterize these signals with a conventional spectrum analyzer, you would first have to acquire the RF, hold the trace, and switch over to the IF to acquire the second trace. A similar situation applies when monitoring horizontal and vertical polarizations of the beam, or with uplinks and or downlinks. The drawbacks of using a conventional spectrum analyzer is the inability to monitor and compare multiple traces in real time with a single instrument. With the dual-channel cross-domain analyzer, you have the ability to acquire either the RF and IF, horizontal and vertical polarizations, or uplinks and downlinks at the same time, and compare them in phase and magnitude up to Ka band, or 43 gigahertz for the highest end model. Also, you can operate the cross-domain analyzer, monitor the spectrum and download trace data and screenshots remotely over LAN. One important measure to quantify the effects of polarization is cross-polarization discrimination, or XPD for short. Coplanar attenuation due to rain fade, for instance, can quickly be characterized using the XMAP function by taking the ratio of the channel number 1 input, which is the vertical polarization in this case, to the channel 2 input, the horizontal polarization. Placing a marker on the red line in the upper screen as shown, which is the level ratio of the 2 inputs, will provide the calculated value of XPD. In this example, a wideband DVB-S signal is transmitted along with random bursts of interference. So the question is, how do you actually accurately capture and isolate this intermittent burst of interference? So in the next example, we'll demonstrate how the cross-domain analyzer could be useful in this instance. The cross-domain analyzer can be operated in conventional spectrum analyzer mode and also in the FFT mode in frequency domain. In spectrum analyzer mode, the U3800 behaves like a conventional swept analyzer, providing wide dynamic range, but at the expense of relatively slow sweep speeds. In the example on the screen on the left, it takes about 1 second to sweep a 40 megahertz band, and only a slight hint of interfere of the DVB-S signal is captured in conventional swept mode. So important events could be missed during this relatively long sweep. On the image on the right side, in the FFT mode, the cross-domain analyzer has a 40 megahertz digitizer, which can instantaneously capture wide bandwidth signals. In this example, the same DVB-S signal is captured as quickly as 46 milliseconds, ensuring that the intermittent spin sphere is fully represented. In addition, 1 Hz resolution bandwidth is employed during the capture to help isolate the signals of interest. Next, we have an example of how the instrument in FFT mode can be used to monitor 2 sources of signals side by side in time domain. For instance, these 2 sources of signals could be a pair of uplinks or downlinks, or a pair of polarized transmissions. 2 input signals, systems A and system B, into RF port and RF port 1 and 2, are measured to check for interference. As you can see in this example, when system A is transmitting, system B is not, helping to confirm the absence of overlap and temporal interference between the 2 polarizations in the 40 megahertz band. Besides spectrum monitoring, the cross-domain analyzer is also a powerful tool for component characterization up to Ka band. In this next example, we will demonstrate how the U3800 can be used to characterize the gain and phase distortion of power amplifiers typically used for pulse radar applications. This test is pretty easy to set up with the cross-domain analyzer. In this schematic shown in this example, the pulse RF signal is split into channel number 2 of the analyzer, and also to the power amplifier itself. Then the signal is then amplified and coupled into the input channel number 1 of the cross-domain analyzer. This measurement result shows a lot of useful information all in one screen. The top screen shows the input, which is the purple trace, and the output power, which is the green trace, of a 10 megahertz wide pulse on a 2 gigahertz carrier. Using the XMAP function, the amplifier gain is calculated or overlaid as the green trace on the upper screen. On the bottom screen, we are able to see the phase difference between the input and the output. as calculated by the cross-map function. In this example, we see the amplifier introducing minimal phase distortion in the 10 MHz pulse as indicated by the marker reading. This test can also be similarly performed by a conventional vector network analyzer. However, a VNA would need more time to set up and calibrate, and not to mention the significantly higher cost, maybe over 2 to 3 times the cost, needed to configure a 40 GHz VNA for pulse RF measurements. Also, the VNA will not have the wide IF bandwidth as the cross-domain analyzer. If the bandwidth is not wide enough, the pulse shift could be distorted or not even detected, masking DUT response. Another very important application we have been seeing relates to EMI pre-compliance testing and troubleshooting. In pre-compliance testing, the EMI performance of a product is evaluated throughout the design phase prior to final compliance verification. And when you do have an EMI problem, you need the right tools to help you troubleshoot and identify sources of electromagnetic interference. This example shows 2 simultaneous EMI measurements for pre-compliance test. The dual RF input channels allow parallel measurements using vertical and horizontal antennas for different frequency bands. This instrument also allows you to set up or upload predefined limit lines and alerts the user and records an event in case the pass-fail limits have been exceeded. The results could then be displayed in a log plot for pre-compliance testing, or in a linear display to check for harmonics in the emission. Depending on the specification of the compliance test, we can also employ various detectors, such as peak detectors, quasi-peak detectors, average detectors, and so on, and also allow for CISPR compliant bandwidth to be set up with the instrument. In this example, the upper screen shows the measurement results in log scale from 30 MHz to 1 GHz at the channel 1 input with the peak detector. The lower screen shows measurement results at 132 MHz and narrow spans with peak, quasi-peak, and average detectors, all being available in one snapshot. Advantest also provides setup files depending on the compliance procedure and antenna type. The correct frequency and bandwidth settings, detector types could also be recorded into the cross-domain analyzer to save you time, and also ensuring that you have the right setup available. Here's an example showing simultaneous measurement of the electric field and magnetic field of a device under test, helpful for troubleshooting EMI problems. With dual channels, you don't need to chain probes or to observe time and phase correlated emissions in real time. With a conventional analyzer, you would need to switch probes from electric field probes to magnetic field probes and vice versa. During the process, you could lose valuable time and information. Here's a quick recap of the cross-domain analyzer and its benefits. So as we have demonstrated in the 3 cases, the cross-domain analyzer provides an innovative solution in satellite monitoring, component characterization, EMI pre-compliance, and debugging. With it, you can measure 2 channels at a time without changing probes or antennas, monitor emissions at 2 sources or locations at the same time. Most sources have multiple components, either a horizontal or vertical polarization, or magnetic or electric field components. This comprehensive solution provides a lot of measurement flexibility, all the way up to 43 GHz, depending on the model you choose. As we have demonstrated in the 3 cases, the cross-domain analyzer has the integrated capabilities of a spectrum analyzer, an oscilloscope, and a vector network analyzer, all in one compact instrument. You will be able to measure 2 sources in real time, which ultimately reduces your testing time and increases your confidence in capturing intermittent signals. In case a more field portable and battery operated solution is needed, the Advantest U3800 series could also be considered. In addition to a 2-hour battery life in a compact and lightweight 14-pound package, the U3800 series also offers the dual channel and time domain options like its big brother, the U3800. but it does not offer the comprehensive cross-match and phase thickness dual channels required for deeper quantitative analysis. Next, I'll hand the presentation over to Warren, and he'll talk about the software solutions available for the Advantest products.
Thank you, Baron. That was great on all three scenarios that you went over. We have the Crystal Solutions Sentry software. Crystal Solutions is an independent third party that has developed a software codenamed Sentry, which runs remotely on a central server. It allows for signal monitoring, alerts, recording, and playback of up to 10 carriers, up to 10 of those carriers in a round-robin sequence fashion. The 10 carriers are cycled quickly to ensure minimal display refresh lag time. So you're able to see in a pseudo real-time availability all 10 carriers at once, set limits, set alarms, monitor all 10 characters simultaneously. A license carries a cost of $7,000 per RF channel. So if you have a dual channel analyzer, it would be 2 license agreements in order to monitor 20 channels total, 20 carrier channels on a single analyzer. The drivers are also available for the U3800 and 3700 series, and those are at no cost. Next slide. There's also a free VNC-based remote control software available, which has a main advantage of utilizing the unit in a remote location for remote training, troubleshooting. It gives you a virtual interface of every function on the front panel of the U37 or 3800 series analyzers, utilizing an IP address and on a network through an Ethernet interface, the LAN interface on the rear of the unit. That's available at no cost. There's also EMI measurement software available as a free download from the website, and that was depicted in Baron's third scenario case study that allows you to monitor the EMI measurements. This concludes the technical portion of our webinar, and before handing the forum back to Manny Diaz for wrap-up, I'd like to go over the various models and pricing for the U3800 and 3700 series analyzers. As you can see on the chart, I won't go through all of the different configurations and pricing, but as you can see, a single RF channel at 43 gig under 28K, or say a dual channel 43 gig analyzer under 50K, that's a pretty attractive performance versus price analogy. In order to obtain that analyzer under those costs, it's very cost effective for your budget as well as your analyzing applications. I'd like to mention a special program also. Next slide. For a limited time, Metric Test is offering a 10% discount on all Advantest products, and it's going to be valid through June 30th. You're the first to hear it in this webinar, and we'll be advertising that on our website as well, but I invite you to take advantage of it, of the 10% discount on all of the products available through Advantest, including the U37 and 3800 series analyzers. And with that, I'll hand the podium back to Manny Diaz. Manny?
Thank you, Warren. Price versus performance, Advantest is clearly the leader for its unique troubleshooting capabilities. At Metric Test, our ultimate goal is to make our clients the most efficient users of capital. In addition to Advantest, we also offer name-leading brands of test and measurement like Agilent, Tektronix, JD Shoes, Rhodian Schwartz, and Enritsu. We also offer a line of reconditioned products. With the help of our experienced lab technicians, we refurbish the equipment and can offer you anywhere up to 80% off list price. We are the fastest growing rental company in the world. We help engineers solve their challenges by providing technical expertise and rental solutions with world-class test and measurement products. In addition to flexible financing, we do offer our month-to-month rental programs. We also offer lines of credit, deferred payments, as well as end-of-term buyout options. Trade-ins are also a flexible tool for you to use. We focus on 4 major target markets: aerospace defense, semiconductor computing, RF wireless, in addition to serving the educational market. So every day we're helping our customers with a wide range of communications applications, as mentioned, SATCOM, radar, wireless communication, microwave sonnet, SDH, and optical Ethernet, just to name a few. Thank you. And now we will take some general questions or comments submitted through our chat box. Again, the Q&A box can be located in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. And we will wrap up with a drawing of 5 lucky winners for $50 Amazon check card. So please stand by. The first question is, here, who can I talk to about renting these units? I think I can address that. At the conclusion of this presentation, we will be providing you with contact information with the presenters, as well as a general inquiry link to our website, along with a thank you letter for participating in our webinar, and you will be able to obtain contact information from those 3 sources. Next question. What is the entire range of frequency coverage? I think I'll hand this one over to Barry.
Right. Regarding the measurement frequency range, so the U3800 series has 3 models. They all start at 9 kHz range, up to either 3 GHz, 8 GHz, and 43 GHz. For the 43 GHz model, the actual inputs are split into two set of channels. So we have one set of channels covering 9 kHz to 10 MHz, and another set of channels covering the other half, which is from the 10 MHz up to 43 GHz. So the front of the 43 gig model actually have 2 sets of connectors, one for N-type and K-type connectors to support a wide frequency range.
Got another question here. Do you have white papers and additional application notes on the cross-domain analyzer, and how would I obtain those?
Yes, we do have a variety of materials, including specific cases, as we see just now, in more detailed, instructions and scenarios. So, so this is something we'll be looking to posting on our website or share with you individually as well. So we have, aside from the 3 cases we talked about today, there are also other applications that are very helpful and practical that we'll cover in these handouts.
Okay, we've got time for a couple more questions, Darren. The next one is, what programming capabilities are available?
So both the U3700 series and U3800 series support the Advantest command set, which you can program via the LAN interface or GPIB, as well as there are LabVIEW drivers available for both series. The U3700 series has a compatible SCPI command set, SCPI command set, which is more universal among other generations of products and among different manufacturers. And in addition, we have Crystal Sentry software support, where the software tool is designed around the U3800 series to do the very precise signal monitoring applications that Warren talked about earlier.
Okay, got another question here from our audience. The question is, how is the dual channel option on the U3700 different from the U3800 solution?
Yeah, so on the U3800 series, dual channel and time domain are standard features of the instrument, whereas on the U3700 series, it's an option. And one distinct difference is that between the 2 series is that on the dual channel for both, they're not phase synchronized for the U3700 series. Only the U3800 series is phase synchronized. And in addition, for the U700 series, only one of the inputs goes up to the higher band frequency. So we mentioned earlier that the U3700 series has a 31 and 8, 31, and 43 gigahertz model. So for those three models, only one of the input channels go up to 43 gig, 31 gig, or 8 gigahertz. The second channel remains at 3 gigahertz, even though both provide simultaneous sweeps. Whereas for the U3800 series, you have the same frequency band available in both channels, and that are phase synchronized.
Great. Okay, I think we can take one more question here from the audience, Baron. And this one is, are there any RF probes available for use with the U38 or 3700?
Yeah, Advantest doesn't specifically have RF probes designed for these instruments, but being very standard connectors on the analyzers, either N-type or K connectors, 2.92, we can easily adapt to other third-party probes, and antennas and so on. So we do have quite a wide selection within our, company's portfolio that are compatible with these products.
Okay, and I think I can take this final question, and that is, what is the warranty on the equipment? All Advantest equipment carries a standard 1-year warranty, parts and labor, and that's honored through us here or the manufacturer in Japan. All right, so now the fun part for our audience members. This is your chance to win one of 5 Amazon gift cards for $50. We've entered all of the names of the attendees into a hat, and with the assistance, with our lovely assistant Maria, we will pull out the names of the 5 winners.
Okay.
So with drum roll, please.
The first one is Hunter Sue.
Our first winner is Hunter Sue.
Okay. Next one is Vince Liberto.
Vince Liberto, number 2.
Third one is Brent Cow.
Brent Cow, congratulations.
Caroline Chan.
Caroline Chan, you're also the lucky winner of a $50 gift card.
And last one is Terry Lynn.
And our last winner is Terry Lynn. Congratulations to all the winners. You will be contacted shortly by our marketing department. If you'd like to learn more about our Advantest U38 or 3700 products, or to receive an on-site demonstration or formal pricing, you can contact us at quotes@metrotest.com, or just give us a call at 800-432-3424. Your email or call will be immediately responded by your local sales engineer. In addition, you can find tons of great information on our website at www.metrotest.com. Thank you again for attending today's webinar on the U3800 cross-domain analyzer. Hopefully you found it informative and useful for your current and future applications. This concludes our session.